Now, here is something that I'm unsure about. Any visitor to Japan who comes here and goes to a temple will notice two statues normally, typically, generally, outside the temple. I mean, they stand on the left and the right of the entrance gate to the temple. One has its mouth open, one has its mouth closed, and these are the temple guardians, agyo, mouth open, and ungyo, mouth closed, and they represent birth and death, up, down, black, white, male, female, all kind of polarities, which encompasses everything. Now, here we can see two famous agyo with the mouth open. You're born, and when you die, the holy word om or aum is also the same. The first letter in the syllabary is and the last letter in the syllabary is So that birth, death. These two, I don't know how to categorize. Where do they fit? They are not part of the Buddha class, not part of the Bodhisattva class, not part of the Myo class. These two, very famous, they're all, you can find them in China and Korea and all of East Asia, are said to be manifestations of the Bodhisattva Vajrapani, the thunderbolt holder. So in my mind, these two, they would fit here in the Myo class. In this class, because the Myo are manifestations of the Buddha and Bodhisattva. And so therefore, since where was that? The Neo, the benevolent kings, these two should also be placed in that class as manifestations of the Bodhisattva. And they stand outside the temple gates as guardians. As you walk in, you see them on the left and on the right. So but I still don't know exactly. Are they Tenbu or are they Myo or where they are? I don't know where to categorize them. That's kind of my guess. Then the most important thing in this presentation about the Tenbu, the Hindu deities, is almost all of them are only known in the mandala art form, in the Taizo Kai and the Kongo Kai, the womb world mandala and the diamond mandala. And they appear here, but they do not have their own cults in Japan. Most of them are unknown, unless you're passionate about the mandala. Most of these deities, these divas, are just not known in Japan. But some of them, a few of them, who we're going to talk about today, a few of them are some of Japan's most popular gods and goddesses in modern times. And here we can see, here's the Taizokai mandala, the womb world mandala. Up here in the northeast quarter, this is where a whole bunch of diva are. They're all thrown throughout this mandala. This is where the diva are located, the Tenbu, because they're protectors of Buddhism. At the very center of Buddhism, we have the Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. But out here on the fringe, we have all the diva. Now, the people we're going to, the gods and goddesses we're going to talk about now are, there are three, Bishamonten and Daikokuten, who are here in the northeast quarter. Now, northeast, you have to remember too, is involved with a very important concept called Kimon, or the evil direction of evil. According to the mandala theory, there are four gates. There's a gate of heaven, gate of man, and gate, I forget. There's a gate for the demons to enter the world, and that gate is the northeast quadrant. And so Bishamon and Daikoku-ten are shown up here in the northeast quadrant as especially good at defeating evil and defeating demons. And the other Bishamon-ten, Daikoku, the other diva we're talking about is Benzai-ten, the goddess of water, the goddess of music, the goddess of all things that flow, like poetry, literature, discourse, and music. So those are the three I'm going to focus on now. Again, notice that they're all on the outer edges of the mandala because they're imported from Hinduism, adopted to Buddhism, and then became protectors of Buddhism. The very center of the mandala are the Buddha and the Bodhisattva. At the very outside of the mandala are the diva. And as you can see, there are something like over 400 deities just in that one mandala. And over 200 of them are diva from India. So today, as I said, we're going to talk about Daikoku-ten, Bishamon-ten, and Benzai-ten. And here, there is a noticeable trend that when the Hindu deities came to Japan, they were usually wrathful. They had multiple heads. They had multiple arms, and they held weapons. And over time, the Japanese tamed them so that their fierce and demonic forms became peaceful and gentle and benign. So here I'm just showing very quickly, Siva, Daikoku-ten, came here as a three-headed deity, a wrathful three-headed deity with a skull in his head cap. And then he became essentially a Santa Claus. He became a fat, chubby, happy, jolly Santa Claus with two arms and one head. Benzai-ten, the goddess of water, poetry, music, literature, all things that flow, originally came to Japan as an 8-armed deity who protected the nation, a martial deity, protected the nation. But now she's changed into a beautiful 2-armed, one-headed goddess of beauty who plays music. Bishamon-ten, who we'll talk about later too, he is one of the original, let me go back quickly to here. Bishamon-ten is the leader of this group of the 4 Shitenno, the 4 guardians of the 4 directions, the guardians of the nation. In this configuration of 4, he is known as Tamon-ten, but he, among these 4, he's the only one who had his own cult, his own individual cult. And he's always shown holding a pagoda. The pagoda represents the teachings of Buddhism and symbolically represents the relics of the historical Buddha. The pagoda is supposedly holds the ashes and the teeth and the fingernails and the other leftover parts of the cremated historical Buddha. And he also has been, look at this, he's been cutified. He's no longer looking martial, he's looking cute. He's looking cute. The trend is that these martial deities, multi-headed, multi-armed, ferocious, fearful, rascal deities, over time in Japan have all been tamed, and they're now portrayed as friendly, jolly, happy gods and goddesses, which this is, I find, tremendously interesting.